Hello and welcome to episode 57 of the Cutie Art Crusaders for August 6, 2013. We've got a pretty full episode for you guys this week, so without further delay, my name is Rainbow Plasma. I'm the organizer and editor of this podcast, and today I'm joined by...
Burn1, the special guest coordinator and the other editor to the shows.
I'm Flutterguy317, and I'm the art coordinator for the podcast.
And today we have a very special guest, introducing for the first time ever, Mr. Atmospark.
Hi guys.
Welcome to the show.
Wait a second. Wait a second. You sound familiar.
I do.
Like I know you.
It's like I know you. It's like I've known you for over a year.
That accent is like so oddly reminiscent of someone.
I can't remember who.
A certain Australian.
Okay, so do you want to talk about your name change? Because if people haven't realized yet, Atmospark is Pinky Dash.
Who are you?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm that guy. So yeah, a few people the people who follow me on DeviantArt have seen and probably seen and responded to my name change, which I was My Little Pinky Dash. I am now Atmospark. One of the major reasons is I created that name at 2:30 in the morning when I was really tired, and I created a DeviantArt account because I wanted to store my stuff that I'd made. I didn't really expect to get any followers or anything, so the name didn't really mean much to me. Now that I've been doing this for over a year and I have just recently hit 1,000 watches, I kind of want something that means a bit more to me than just a random conglomeration of my two favorite ponies at the time.
It's like I don't even know you. This is like worse than Flutterguy's favorite pony change. This like destroys my universe. You can't just do this to us. Like
I'm totally okay
here.
with this. I'm totally okay with this because your other name was god awful.
Yeah, it was.
You do realize that like we're still gonna call you Pinky Dash from time to time because
I'll still respond to Pinky Dash. But any new stuff that I make now, or anything that I will associate with me now, will be Atmospark. I already have an account on everything. So Steam is Atmospark, YouTube is Atmospark.
Good idea.
DeviantArt account is Atmospark. I have a Gmail account, Atmospark.
No, but seriously, like as someone who's very, very picky about usernames, it's a good name.
we still love you.
In other words, it's a very, very not offensive way of saying that your name sucked. Wait, you already said that, didn't you?
No, I already said it very clearly that his old name sucked.
Well, while we're at it, your name's terrible. No, I'm just kidding. No. So glad your name's different.
So we have that, and speaking of special guests...
No, we actually do have a real super special guest here today on the show, and... One thing we actually haven't mentioned is we're all recording in the same room. So we have me here, where I'm sitting, and then we have Flutterguy here to my left, and then to the left of Flutterguy, we have a very attractive special guest, Mr. Mahauser, Manshowers. What is your name?
Oh, Manshower, right.
Manshower is on vacation, but I'm Mahower, and I'm here. I'm recording with these guys, and I guess I'll be here for this episode.
Yeah, so you guys are out at Bronycon right now. That's why you're recording in the same place. We're not all recording in the same place. Pinky Dash and I are in our regular places, but you guys are out at Bronycon.
By the way, how you pronounce that big flashing name on the screen with the very awesome vectors of him next to it.
I hate you.
Swear I wasn't making that in editing nightmare. Is and you're gonna have to like make a color and like do each letter in particular. But
Move on, Burned.
Mahower.
Make it flash each time.
Mahower. Can you like play that once
Move
again for me?
on, Burned.
Mahower. All right, anyway, moving on to the art. Here's Flutterguy.
So before we move on to the art, just basics about Mahower. We knew him from the Vector Club back before we did Cutie Art Crusaders, and he does amazing vector work, and so he's going to join us in kind of going over our episode today. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Our theme for this episode is Derpy.
Yay! Everyone's favorite
which
background
actually
pony.
brings us to our last little talking point that we had in our little spiel, is that this Derpy right here, this Alpha Muffin by Sophie Cobra is actually a little print that I just bought because we're all at Bronycon and like we're in a hotel just with like Bronycon just across the street. And I actually got this print from Sophie Cobra. And what I learned, what I didn't know, because we've had like a painting episode when we were talking about Sophie Cobra, is that Sophie Cobra is an artist who does like digital work and does sketches, but she's not a painter. She actually has a friend who, do you remember what her name was, Flutter Guy?
I don't. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, we will get her name and put it on the screen. But she does the collaboration with right there in the description. Click that. Ken Cat. So Sophie Cobra does all of the digital work here in Sophie Cobra's DeviantArt, and then Ken Cat does the painting. She paints over the work that Sophie Cobra draws on wood, because most of these paintings and the squares you guys probably know are done on wood, sketched on wood by hand by Sophie Cobra, and then hand painted in acrylic by Ken Cat, which is really cool. I didn't know that, and I managed to get both of their signatures, and it's super cool. Did we talk about that we're actually at Bronycon, or was that the first time?
Yes.
No,
Burn.
That was the first
Yes.
time? Okay. I was making sure. I don't know where. What am I doing? Passing the mic to Flutter Guy.
Please do.
Burned.
Hi, Flutter Guy. It's nice to talk to you.
Hi. Yeah. I don't know what that was all about, but no, we are here at Bronycon, and we did actually see. We didn't see the original of this piece, but Burn did buy a print. But this piece is adorable, and it is done in acrylic, which is pretty cool.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing, first of all, I just wanted to point out that we're not going to talk too much about BronyCon because you guys, this is the Friday, so you guys still have a lot of stuff to see. So when you guys come back in a couple weeks, then we'll have an entire episode on the BronyCon stuff that we'll talk a little bit more about. But like you said, we might as well tie in because you guys are there right now. But Sophie Cobra is I mean, probably most well known right now for her current pieces where she did a profile piece on a ton of different ponies and then put it all together into one big poster that I have.
Really?
She's got wonderful use of expressions, which as what did you call it again, Burned? It was a expressionist, I guess.
No, not quite. That's actually really funny because like they have cute expressions, but expressionist means that the
wait before you go on, what I meant was we've had a word to describe how I view art. Because I enjoy looking at the emotions and how the piece affects me.
You enjoy emotion, but the point of expressionist art is emotion and have emotion portrayed in the piece, but then the piece becomes more about the portrayal of emotion to where their piece, they want the piece to be as if it were almost emotion itself. So these pieces are done in an illustrated way to where we can see the characters and are not expressionistic, so to speak.
Right.
Because they're still pictures of ponies. If it was an expressionist piece, it would be more things that like paintings of feelings, if that makes sense. An expressionist piece is paintings of feelings, not quite something that makes you feel.
What was the term that you used that was like how I viewed art pieces?
Oh gosh.
That's what I was trying to get to.
Girly? No, I was trying to think of something funny, but I cannot remember for the life of me.
There's a term where I look at pieces, and the thing that jumps out to me is how I view it emotionally, as opposed to technically or any other way. And so what I'm saying is, from my perspective, Sophie Cobra really affects me because it has this kind of emotional weight to it. I'm not sure why. I think it's a lot to do with expressions. Expressions affect me because they carry a lot of emotions. That's where we look to people for their emotions. Therefore, Sophie Cobra has a lot of connection to me because she does great facial expressions. That's all I'm trying to get to. It was definitely not an expressions piece.
You definitely have a more like emotional attachment to art, like how a piece makes you feel. But like, as far as like expressionistic work goes,
that was the wrong term.
More about like physically. Yeah, no, but it's a good term to bring up. I really don't remember what I said, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll have to look back at that. But what I was trying to get to is the facial expressions and how good she is at that really connects with me because I'm someone who looks at the emotions of characters and how pieces make me feel. And good facial expressions are usually a pretty easy way for me to feel good about a piece.
Quite.
Mahower, what do you think of the piece?
I was just gonna say, actually, like meeting who made it and how they do it, and seeing like everything that went into it, really like makes you have a greater respect for the piece. So like coming down here and just like talking to artists, like really, it just makes it a little bit more powerful than if I would have just seen this browsing DeviantArt or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other than that, I don't have anything really crazy important to say.
That's a really good point though, because
I do like the muffins.
Coming from people's people's perspective where they haven't gone to cons like this or they haven't met artists, it really is amazing to go up and meet the people who make it, because not only do you get that appreciation, but also everyone in the pony community who makes art is just so nice.
Yes, everyone here has been overwhelmingly nice, especially the artists. Something on a point Howard just mentioned is that you don't really get an appreciation for this little Derpy on a pile of muffins. Like I'm now like that we saw the two individuals who painted this, and like we're like thinking about the interaction between them. But I mean, Sophie Cobra, the artist who did the sketch, sketched out Derpy and then a huge pile of muffins, and I just imagine her handing it to Ken Cat and just be like, "Here, do this Derpy." It's like I have to paint this huge pile. Like
good
having
luck.
to paint each one of those little individual muffins in acrylic and make them all like with their little outline and stroke and the little
different
muffin cup holder thing in the bottom of it. Like having to paint each one of those in like paint of all things, just like and this was not very big either. This is only like a few inches by a few inches. It's nothing that's huge.
Right.
So to do something like this with that fine of like handwork is you really appreciate it when you can see some of the originals that you had on our table.
For sure.
But anyway,
that's definitely a good point to bring up.
We talk about like how awesome the painting is and how she like goes into it in her acrylic work. But if you want to hear more about that, you should go watch our painting episode.
No, our painting episode is really good. I unfortunately could not be there for it, but I actually enjoyed going back and listening to it.
A little bit of self-plug there.
Hey, that's what we do here.
Yeah.
It's nice to lead people like back to episodes to like watch stuff. It's like, oh, if you like this episode, you should watch this one.
It's true. As we get more of a library of episodes, it's good for people to go back and watch some stuff, because we've had some really good, informative and entertaining episodes.
Watch our stuff.
Yeah. One more thing that I wanted to bring up is if you do go to like a con, if you haven't been already, definitely take a look for artists who are actively sketching on the floor, because that really gives you a big appreciation for what they do, because just the finesse and really the speed too that a lot of artists will sketch with. It's kind of phenomenal.
Especially if you get a chance to go to a convention where John Azako's at, like just sit there and watch him, like just how he sketches. He'll have this list of like 20 or 30 people, and he'll just like blow through it in a few minutes, and it's really impressive, because it's like it's pencil and like blue pencil, like straight up on the paper, like quick sketch, circles, face, legs, and then he grabs his pen and he goes black pen here, grab his gray pen, shading there, next.
Yeah.
And it's like he doesn't have time to talk, he doesn't have time to do whatever. It's just drawing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So if no one has anything else to say about that piece, despite how lovely it is, it's amazing. We'll move on to our next piece, which is called Derpy by Mr. Tia.
You might remember I think we've had a Luna piece by Mr. Tia on our show.
I think
before.
so, yeah.
We had your Rainbow Dash.
Well, yeah, I want to talk
I
about
was
that in a
gonna
second.
make a joke about it. Like, didn't we have this like weird like Rainbow Dash thingy? Like, it's not very memorable. No one made anything cool based on it.
Atmos Bark, you
Yeah.
thought that we had the Luna one on our show before,
I
right?
thought we had, yeah.
But we don't seem to have it in our favorites. So I don't think just for the sake of this, let's assume that we've never had something by Mr. Tia on the show before. So as a reference point, a while back, more than half a year ago now, I brought up a little piece that I did because I spent so long on it, and it's probably my best work to date. And it was a vectorized version of another piece by Mr. Tia of the same kind of grouping, where it's like a speed painting, where I did Rainbow Dash, and this is another one from that same series, Derpy. And one of the things that's most spectacular about this piece, it's such an interesting style and it's got a lot of detail to it, but it's only done in 50 minutes. And that really amazes me.
Yeah. Byrne just said those wings, and I have to agree. Those wings and that hair, it's like, for 50 minutes worth of drawing, it's absolutely fantastic. And that expression is just so derp.
To give people's perspective of like how complex it was, like when I did my Rainbow Dash one, that one was done in about 45 minutes, the artist said, and it took me about 20 hours to vector. So, just the amount of detail that goes into these pieces is really spectacular.
Yeah. Like the stroke of a hand in like digital painting is like way quicker than making this a stroke in a vector program, because it takes so much precise and precision to do that by hand with a mouse, to where everything's all technical, and you got to like make the point, click, drag, make the end point, click, drag,
and trying to keep it true to the original as
make
well.
the line, and then and to like making sure to like keep it as accurate as possible. But where something like this, the digital painting, it's more about flow, and it's more about like caring less and even being careless when you're like painting over things, and just like knowing how to darken where, lighten where, add shadows and like outlines or whatever.
In such a short amount of time.
Exactly.
I always get nervous when like I'm trying to do traditional painting, because with vectors it's easy to go back and like change stuff later, but with more like digital painting and stuff, it's and traditional painting
Not as easy.
It's really any painting besides vector work. It's harder to go back and change things and tweak things. You kind of have to, I don't know. It's less of a precise medium, but
it can really give you a good feel for the piece. You know, you can get a really natural look to it because the hand is imperfect, but it also can do quite amazing things.
Paintings are it's a very developmental medium, by which meaning that you're slowly developing the piece over time. You're not really sure of what you want it to be when you start. Like when you make a vector, you're pretty positive what you want it to be, and you build it to an exact point. But when it's something like a digital painting, you are building it over time, and you're building layers upon things. So like with traditional painting, you can't fix things, you can't erase things, you can't go and fix something without a lot of work, because you have to go paint over it and fix colors and fix edges. So you're constantly working and reworking different surfaces and different colors over each other. So it's that point of building something. And digital painting's a little less like that, because you can use layers, and layers are a godsend because it will allow you to go and like edit something or fix something, and it's digital, so you can undo, you can erase, whatever. And that's why it's so different than traditional painting. But there's actually a lot of artists or teachers who are artists that will teach art. They'll say, if you're gonna do like a digital painting, what you should do is start like, again, this is kind of on the term of value study, but with anything, use just like black and white, and use one layer and one brush, and then just paint like that. Just paint black over white and keep mixing colors like that. So if you mess up, you have to go and you have to repaint over it, just like you were making a traditional painting. And it really gives you that appreciation for like going and painting and fixing and working and reworking and going until you have like a product you're happy with. And it gives you that appreciation for that. So to do something like that in a traditional work, a speed painting, you know. But I mean, again, it's probably not done with one layer. This is probably done with many layers. But still, like any kind of digital painting really gives you that feel.
Yeah, when I was discovering how to draw, and still are discovering how to draw, that was one of the hardest things to overcome for me. And still is one of the hardest things to overcome for me. Drawing's hard.
It absolutely is. And the interesting thing about drawing is a lot of people find their own natural styles just through simple things like, oh, this is hard to do, maybe I can think of another way. So for example, what I found, especially in the Rainbow Dash piece, because there's much more of a prevalent wing, but it also shows up quite a bit in this piece, is that Mr. Tia, in these kind of looser, sketchier speed paintings, has really, really fluffy wings. Like almost like the wings are like hairy, because just the way that they're done. It's really interesting though, because it creates something that I've never seen before. So if you look at the Derpy's two wings there, you can't see too much of them, but like they're like very fluffy, but they do like they've got that feel of feathers too.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's drawn almost exactly like the main, but you can definitely tell the difference between them, which is an interesting thing.
I wonder if that's our own perspective, because we know that they're wings. You know, we have this preconception that they're wings because we know it's Derpy, and we can kind of see that they're wing shaped. I wonder if someone who didn't know that much about the show, if they saw something like this, would they go, oh yeah, that's feathers? It'd be an interesting concept, because they do look very similar.
You also have the concept of color. So there's color dictating that. But now that I'm looking at it, they are ungoddishly huge. And I would attribute that to the fluffiness, making them look twice as big as they actually are. But you can kind of see her hind haunches behind the wing. But I mean, those are some big wings.
Yeah.
Which is
they're
great, because big
probably
wings are
like
great.
if you could see the rest of the painting, like the outside of where her wings are, they're probably bigger than her.
Those are burn size wings.
Oh yes, majestic. But
man.
no, I get that point, but I would be hesitant to say that just because I mean they're right on her side, and then they're the same color as her coat. But I mean, if you probably should, like, show this to someone who's never seen a pony before, you're like, what's that? What's
Right,
this
that's all I
fluffy
was
junk?
saying. I was wondering. There was no point. I was just wondering if I showed this to someone who had no ideas about like Pegasuses or something. Pegasus is
Pegasus.
The subjectivity of wings.
Right, exactly.
We should do studies on this. Get in some people. See how it goes.
Bring in some non-bronies and ruin
Yeah.
friendships.
Do these look like wings to you? Tell me how you really feel.
Would you describe these wings as hairy or fluffy?
So speaking of that, we met the you were gonna say that we met the what's his official title? Brony psychologist. Yeah.
Psychology.
Yeah.
Psychology.
Psychology. Yeah. No, he did the Brony study. And that was pretty cool. We got to talk to him a little bit, and they've got some new stuff coming out. But maybe we should pitch an idea about that.
Maybe.
Wings.
No, that guy's really cool. When I was like coming to terms with being a brony, I was actually like, I really looked into that, like that brony study thing, like, oh my god, I'm not abnormal. You know, like
Yeah.
there's other people like this, and that really like helped me come out of the brony closet, as it were. No, I was making faces when he was mentioning, oh, we met psychology. I totally wasn't thinking that. I was making faces because like I wanted to awkwardly sing into the mic, "Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows," because we were talking about fluffy unicorns. Because like when we did this so-called study of people and the subjectivity of wings, we would clearly play "Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows" in like in a loop just to drive them that much more insane. Like clearly,
Yeah.
We should
That'd be
change our
great.
theme
Clearly.
song to that.
we should.
At least for 1 week.
Can we do that for this episode? Like right now, play it.
Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows.
I'll just play it like super fast so that we can get it over with.
Yeah, I know.
That's technology. See what colors are. What color unicorns? Hey, they're already dancing. Rainbows. Please use one word to describe the texture of a magical bird. Smiles. Yeah. Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows. Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows. Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows. Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows.
Yeah. No. One. I have one more thing to say about this piece, and then if you want to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Rainbow Plasma. Okay. Well, we're still on the topic of wings. I really like. I don't think this would be considered composition, but I think maybe it would be called framing. How the wings frame the piece. Because they kind of surround Derpy's head, and even at the top, they kind of curve in, so it kind of gives it a. Burned is like flailing his arms like wildly.
I want to make a point. You mentioned flaming. He's mentioning that flaming things. That's something framing. He mentioned. We're moving on. He's mentioning framing because in our Children of the Night interview that we just did, Spirit talked about framing and like what that is and what it means for the composition of a piece. Really cool point. You should go watch that. Here's back to Ted. I mean, Flutter Guy. F.
Oh my goodness. Okay. You're right.
Me. Quick question to Burn. Like, I don't know. When I first look at this, I lock straight to the eyes. Is that because there's a darker value there, or do I not understand
God
value?
damn it, Mahauer.
To Burn.
You're never coming on the podcast again.
So
No, it's because
So-
people recognize faces, Mahauer.
Yes.
two things. No. He's yelling no and like pointing at the piece like look. But yes, faces are very easily recognizable, and the yellow of the hair also attracts your eye to look at it, and the orange of the eye and the white of the eye. Yes. That orange does very
Nothing to
much
do with
stand
value.
out. Like if you're standing back where I'm sitting, and you look at the piece, the first thing you're going to see is that yellow and the orange. And like more so it comes out as like the orange, and even the tongue, you
Yeah.
see a little bit of that. But you're right, the eyes you do like look at the eyes. It's because the things on the bottom that are dark, they don't really attract your eye there. So you're going to look up towards the top where there's, again, lighter values, but there's that bright orange. It's that color of orange contrasting everything else around it that really makes you look at it.
Okay.
But yes,
Can we,
thank you, Mahauer.
may I move on?
Yes.
Wait. Give me that. So, since we've been here at the convention, I've had 2 people yell value at me.
Yeah.
And then a third person walk up and just be like, "Oh, hey, like I'm actually a fan of the show." Who was that? Power something. Power cord.
I have no idea. Tech Rainbow.
Tech Rainbow. Yes. Thank you. Tech Rainbow. And if he's in the IRC, you're awesome. But no, he walked up and he was like, I would yell value at you, but it's too late. I've already introduced myself and you're right in front of me. And I was like, thank you for yelling in my face.
I'm kind of glad I'm not there now.
We met a third fan who was going to make the value joke to me. It's like, God dang it. I'm now here in person with other people and this joke's still going.
Okay.
Damn you.
Okay. So
moving on.
No, shut up. Shut up.
Okay.
Okay.
Do it.
The last thing that I wanted to talk about with Mr. Tia was the fact that while we've talked quite a bit about his speed painting stuff, he has a variety of styles that he does, including some really, really spectacular, almost like kind of anime style ones. So definitely go to Mr. Tia's DeviantArt. That's Mr. Tia. There'll obviously be a thing in our favorites folder where you can go check it out. He's got a lot of great styles, so you should definitely go check him out. But we need to move on to the next piece. So,
yep. So our next piece is called Derpy Sky Vandalism by Titan's Barn. You kind of picked this piece out, so why don't you go ahead and
I picked
introduce
out the last two because there's two artists here that we haven't talked about and who are making great pieces of art, and they just happen to fit in this time. Titan's Barn is a great artist, and I really, really love this piece. It's what really stands out to me is the way that the clouds are used and the way that he manipulates the clouds. Because a lot of times clouds are used for atmosphere, they're used for backgrounds, or maybe they're used as set pieces, but they're never really played around with, and they're never really explored as an actual thing within the piece. It's very rare that you see that. And so when I saw this piece, it was really cool to me because he was taking the clouds and he was making it something physical within the world, something that Derpy is interacting with. And he also does it really, really well. So I wanted to bring up this piece because it's something that I haven't really seen a lot of.
Yeah, it did strike, when you brought it up into the planning stage of this episode, it did strike me quite impressively as well. It's not so much playing with perspective, but you don't really see too much like this, because you can tell by the building in the top left hand side that it is just a straight up and down base. So he's not really playing with the perspective of it or anything, but her flying straight down while looking sort of not at what you'd perceive to be the camera, but off towards the right hand side of the screen. It sort of messes with your mind to make it look like it's a weird perspective, which I really quite like because I'm a sucker for perspective in these sort of things.
Yeah, you love it.
I love it. It's great. I love it when people play with that. But yeah, again, like you said, he's made. I'm going to use a weird phrase, but he makes the cloud sort of like a character in this image, whereas
exactly
like you say, it's normally a background. It's normally a decoration, whereas in this, it's a physical thing. It's Derpy is playing with the cloud. It's a character. It's not just a scenery sort of thing. I love it. It's something that I haven't seen much of.
He's exploring the properties of the cloud too.
Exactly.
Like how it would split, how it would react to someone.
It looks
or
fluffy.
like a pony moving through it. Yeah, exactly.
It looks light and fluffy because you got the puffs coming at the top and yeah. Go ahead. Anyone else?
Yeah. Sure. I totally agree. I think it's awesome. And I mean, the show does kind of use clouds a little bit as like objects that characters interact with. Like, for instance,
Raincloud, never forget.
In the Raincloud,
never forget.
Raincloud, never forget. But they're usually like bouncy or things to kind of rope in by Rainbow Dash. But here it's more of a playful kind of thing. This kind of reminds me of Children of the Night a little bit because they kind of play within the clouds in that animatic or in the animation, and
that's a good point.
So this, yeah.
I would just like to point out that if you look at the top of the clouds, there's two little ponies like playing. You have a little pony on the right and then a pony holding a balloon.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that, but I thought I was seeing stuff, and Plasma was gonna make fun of me
But Mahara, I love you.
for sure.
But
Wait, say that again.
If you look, like right where she cuts into it, like the very top right of the cloud, there's two little stick ponies in the cloud. One has a balloon, and
Pointing
one's just
and
like
laughing at the other one.
It wants a hug or something. Maybe it's laughing. Who knows?
I
It's up to
cannot see that.
interpretation.
Really?
But see, that brings in another really good point about clouds, is that they're subjective. So, like, remember we all, like, look up the clouds and, like, see things, and, like, what do you see in this cloud? Well, it's like an ink blot. It's like, what do you see in this? So, Pinky Dash, what do you see in this cloud? Do you see anything in these clouds?
Me? I see kind of like a turtle, but with like a giant neck and a giant head. And it's like...
So there we go. Pinky Dash sees something in the clouds.
See,
I don't see the pose,
Right.
but I see a giant turtle.
like you said, everybody's got different
Look
things.
right where Derpy cuts the cloud,
Yeah.
and you see the little tiny stick thing at the top.
Not
No.
where our hoof is, but like up at the top of the cut.
So right where it's being cut, right at
Yeah.
the very top, right at the
Is
top,
it
you
like
see
the-
how there's just a little white thing right
the
there.
cloud puff?
No, to the right of that.
Yeah, see the two cloud puffs?
Yeah.
Look at the right cloud puff. Then look at the little dot below that. Now look at the dot across from that. You see how the dot has arms?
Not really.
We're getting nowhere, folks.
Okay, you're crazy. You're crazy. Anyways, what you were saying was that it's subjective to everyone.
Also, if I don't know if you noticed this in the top left, there's a little, like, I think Roman architecture died and went to heaven, or a little bit of Cloudsdale up there.
Yeah, I
right?
think that's supposed to be Cloudsdale.
Yeah. What I thought would be really cool is if everything was tilted to like the side, but Cloudsdale was also tilted, so you knew it was to the side, but you didn't know until you saw that. That would
No,
be crazy.
that's a
That'd be
really
cool.
good point.
That would be the perspective thing I was
Like
talking
if,
about.
if Cloudsdale was, for example, on a 90-degree angle, so you'd look at this piece and you'd be like, oh yeah, it's up and down, and then you look at Cloudsdale and you go, wait a second.
Yeah, that's really like the only way you can tell that you are facing vertical in this piece. Otherwise, everything would be sideways and such, and you would have no clue.
See, I'm the opposite. I didn't immediately see it as up and down. I immediately saw it like I've got something covering the Cloudsdale on the right left hand side, and it looks to me like you're looking at it at a 90-degree angle. But when I move that thing and I see Cloudsdale, it's up and down. I'm like, that's weird. My brain is tripping out. What is going on here?
Yeah. That was a point I was going to make, is like that's the only thing that gives you orientation to this piece. is
orientation, that's the word.
Thing of Cloudsdale in the corner. But I actually like Mahauer's first definition of just dead Romans gone to heaven, and then Derpy's just somewhere she isn't supposed to. It's like, Derpy, why are you in heaven harassing the Romans?
Haven't the Romans been harassed enough? No, they haven't.
Well, yeah. Rainbow Plasma,
What's up?
zoom in on the dirt face.
Love of this is this entire episode, isn't it?
It's so adorable.
I forget that we're actually doing an episode on Derpy, so that all of these have been like Derpy, and all of their eyes
I've been
are
derpy.
Derpy. And the ponies are all
Derpy.
Derpy.
Thank you. Okay. If I may say one more thing again about the artist, Titan's Barn is the analogy that I make was there was someone who made us fan art a while ago, and his name was Detomne, and
Fanart.
yes, fan art. And Detomne made a really cool piece of us, but he's also an artist who experiments with a lot of styles and is not afraid to do abstract pieces. And Titan's Barn has a similar kind of thing. He has so many different styles. He does animation. He's done 3D perspective things. So this is an artist that if you're interested in like non-traditional abstract art, then Titan's Barn is definitely someone to check out.
That Derpy being shocked. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's really cool what he tries to experiment with. He's an artist who likes to experiment, and I think that's really cool.
There's also a spooky one with Pink Amina that's like constantly shifting paint. So we like painted it 4 times looks like, and it just like shifts in between all of them. It's kind of cool. And he also has a very angry Celestia shooting lightning. I'm not gonna click that one.
So anyhow, moving on. But yeah, no, those animations are amazing. You should definitely go check the artist out. And yeah. All right, moving on to our last piece, which is called Derpy Hooves by Tanad 0 or Tarantado.
No, I think it's like Tarantad Zero.
Yeah.
Tarantino.
Quentin, is that you?
Yeah, this is kind of a cool piece. It's on a textured background. And yeah, Plasma, you also found this one. So do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Pern doesn't like this one. I'm gonna out him right now. He does not like this one, but I do, so I'm gonna talk about it.
So, I never said I don't like it. It's cute and I like it, but I was like, I always carry the very artsy mindset, and like I was kind of looking at some of the unrendered like hooves and hair, and I was like, I don't know if I want to feature this one, but I like how the face is rendered, and also Derpy's is, I can't tell if it's shadow. Laptop. Yep, it's Shadow. I was thinking she was wearing an eye patch or something. So I was going to be like, is this like an Equestria Election thing? Because like Equestria Election has like a Derpy crossover character in his world, but is wearing an eye patch, which is funny because it's Derpy. But yeah. One quick thing. I'm not sure the significance of the halo of Derpy, but if like I was really looking into this with like a fine art sense of like what is this and what's the meaning, like that halo would be like, oh my gosh, let's go back to like ancient, I don't even know the time frames, it's been so long since art history, but some kind of something period of, actually post-Renaissance and stuff, when they were like really big on the gold halo. But
Paleolithic.
So the reason why I wanted to bring up this art piece was because it did a number of things differently than a lot of other art pieces. And if there's one thing that we like to have in the show, we don't want to just show the same artists over and over. We don't want to show the same styles over and over. I want to show a bunch of different styles and show people a variety of different art out there. Now, in this piece, the first thing that Flutter Guy brought up was the fact that it was textured. Now, there's two layers here. If you completely ignore the pony, you've got two layers. You've got the textured layer, which is kind of like in the very background. You can see it most on the top right-hand corner. You've got a little bit of that crackle, almost like a little bit of like papery feel to it. And then you've got the second texture, which is an overlay of like a checkerboard pattern to kind of frame Derpy. And it plays a lot with like transparencies and things like that. And it's a very interesting way to give texture to a background. We talked previously about how a lot of artists put textures in the background. Atrill is a huge one. He always puts like textures in his background. He just overlays stuff so that it looks a little bit less perfect, so it looks a little bit more natural. And this artist has used an interesting technique where it's used this combination of the checkerboard overlay and the papery background to create that kind of texture to make it look a little bit more natural, or in this case, maybe a little bit more unnatural.
It's how the pony's rendered too does help a lot in that sense, like kind of in two different ways, but how the pony's painted is very loose, is how we like to say. It's very done carelessly, like things are very painted.
Right.
And when I was looking at it, the face is very rendered, very like sharply rendered, and there's a lot of detail into the face. But then things like the hair, the mane, the wings, the legs, they're a lot more careless, and they have a lot more like free hand in them, which I mean it gives it an interesting feel. It's not a bad thing. We've said that on the show before. It's not a bad thing.
It matches some of that papery background where it would be something that's not precise. That if you're doing stuff on paper, it's obviously going to be a lot less precise than if you're doing it on, say, a computer.
Well, I think too, it kind of gives the piece of point of focus on the face because it is like, really well rendered, and the rest of the pony kind of fades into the background a little bit. Not like completely, but like it doesn't really stand out from the background as much as like the face, for instance, like the Derpy's eye.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, there's two things in this piece that, I mean, what the artist wanted to do is they wanted to draw the person's attention to Derpy's face, and then everything else was part of the composition.
It's the halo.
But there's two things that are
just
done.
Clicked. It's the halo.
there's two things that are done to kind of accomplish that without just putting a face there and hoping people would look at it. First of all, like Bernd mentioned, there is a halo surrounding her head.
Nailed it.
Something circled in the piece, you're going to look at it. I mean, it's just a natural instinct for you to go, what is that that's circled? What is having a focus on it? So that halo does...
Visual cues.
Yeah, exactly. Halo is a great visual cue. But the other thing that I thought was interesting, too, was the very simple use of color.
Value. Damn.
The very simple use of color... And yes, in a certain way, value to bring the viewers off to the left-hand side of the piece. Because if you take a look, the left-hand side is much whiter, it's much brighter, and then it fades out into darker. And people will look at that bright light and they'll be naturally drawn towards it. So that's two different ways that the artists have said that the artist has used techniques like those to bring in the viewer's attention to that face, which is obviously, like you said, much more detailed. A lot more time went into it. It was meant to be the focus.
Quite. Contrast again will make you look at things like that. So that really bright value of the background, it's kind of grayish in the bottom left. So eye almost doesn't want to travel down there, but it's almost pure whites behind Derpy, especially her eye, how it's pure white. So having that very high white content around the edges of Derpy and her mane and her face really attracts your eye there. So there's a little spot behind her neck. It helps frame her head in white. So it's framed in that white and that high value as well as the halo. So there's a lot of things when you point to that specific area.
And when you look at, for example, the checkerboard pattern that I mentioned before, that overlay, you see that it actually fades out around her head and body on the left-hand side. So it's almost like there's a break in that. It's almost like there's a break in like a chain link fence that you're looking through. A little bit more subtle than that, obviously.
The thing that Bern was just talking about, the contrast between the bright white and the pretty much darkened black spot under the hair, is what my eyes looked at. Like when I first looked at it, just right at the blackness of the eye, which is my only complaint about this, is we can't zoom in on the derp face because we don't know how derped it really is.
Oh no. I'm
try.
Okay, I'm on a screen that isn't a crappy laptop in a hotel room. You can see the derp face.
Only just.
All right, good. I'm glad you can. Then I have no complaints. I really enjoy this piece. Like, one thing I really like about it is the darkened colors, because it's something that, like, it's less common in the Brony artists because everybody likes to use bright and cute colors, but they definitely come up. But it's less common, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to do the honors for the derp face?
Zoom in on the derp face.
There you go.
There we go. I was actually gonna say it's kind of interesting, how like kind of that grungier artwork, because I mean like Fox and Shadow comes into mind, but when you say, hey, that dude who does like the kind of the grungier, darker pony work, Fox and Shadow just like comes out like the only artist.
Oh, yeah. I love grungy.
Yeah. Actually, it's kind of funny to know that Mahower, you enjoy this piece because you actually just bought a print here at Bronycon that was like a grungier piece, and it wasn't even pony related, and that's what took me off. Like that's what took me off guard and like kind of caught me off guard. There we go. That's the term. That it was a grungier piece, but it wasn't even pony related. It was just a picture of a wolf by the amazing artist who we featured. I can't remember her name.
No, but the interesting thing is Mahower. I mean, we've been friends with Mahower for like a year and a half now. The same time that we've been friends with each other.
Too long.
And the thing that I found was that Mahower and I have really similar tastes in art. We have really similar tastes in a lot of things.
I was just thinking of that earlier. Like, I know how you like monochromatic things. I bought 6 of them, all from Leakfish, and I was like, I bet Plasma would like these because monochromatic things are sweet.
Yeah, for whatever reason, we seem to really match up with a lot of our preferences, and art's no exception for that.
Yeah, and right now the artist they were talking about that you featured was Blixit with the Twilight and Rainbow Dash all kind of swooping together in a swampy area.
Say that again 5 times fast.
You're gonna have to send me the link to that.
All right. Well, Flutter Guy puts that into Skype. Talking more about Blixit, because we were at her con table. We're at her little stand in the vendor alley, and yeah, we actually Flutter Guy picked up a print of this, and I picked up a little mini print, and she had a whole bunch of prints, including one brand new pony piece she had never she hasn't put on DeviantArt before, so it's not released on DeviantArt. It's only there. It's only at the con. She's gonna put it up later, lower resolution version, or whatever. And I got a print of that, and it's really cool. But I was also gonna mention a fun fact about her. Well, actually, you know what? I'll save that for our Bronycon specific episode.
Oh, Burn! You
cool
know
fact.
the way right into my heart.
Ooh. All right. So I guess that's it for our art, unless anyone has anything more to say.
No, that's it.
Okay. So we're gonna move on to questions with Mr. Atmo Dash.
I'm not going to say questions until you get my name right.
I'm pretty sure your Atmosphere Spark at Spark.
Yeah, the Atmosphere and
It's
Spark. So
Atmo
Spark.
Okay, you can find him on Twitter at Mospark.
You can't find me on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter.
I would like to apologize to our special guest number 1.
Okay, so I'm going to go do questions now.
Yeah, do the questions.
Well, I have a question. And because there is 5 of us for today, should take a few minutes, which is good. because it's a fun one. Okay. One question for each of us 5. Out of the, I guess, 5 of us that are here today, who would you cuddle, who would you marry, and who would you kill? Question sent in by Anonymous, because you sent your real name.
Everyone on the podcast right now. So out of everyone on the podcast right now, cuddle, marry, kill. And because there's, if you're not counting yourself, because nobody should say they're self-burned, what we should do is we should double up one of them.
Double up.
Yeah, we should double up one of them.
The double cuddle special.
So you can either like double cuddle, you can double marry, you can double kill. Okay. Murder. Just because you got
Can we
one
change? Can we change kill? That's really dark.
No, it's not that bad.
Who would you banish forever? Who would you send to the moon?
Cuddle, marry, and send to the moon.
Okay, I'll say that again.
Who would you send to the moon? I like that. And then no one's feelings get hurt. That way Rainbow Plasma won't feel so bad.
So who wants to go first?
All right.
Mahower.
Mahower wants to go first.
Mahower.
You wonderful little man, you. Cuddle, marry, send to the moon.
God.
I know he's
Out of us here, yeah, we're having a double cuddle special here with Flutter Guy and Bird. Oh yeah, it's happening. You don't even know.
I am so jelly.
And then oh no. The first one is so easy. I'm making life commitments here. Oh, you know why it was easy. He's giving me winky eyes over there.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
just rub my body.
Oh God. Oh, you're missing out on a lot here. All right. For Mary, oh God, me and Plasma can decorate our house together very easily. Our art is it's so in touch with each other. Monochromatic bathroom, grungy living room.
God.
It's going to be great.
Are you proposing to me? Because I might say yes.
Will you take me?
Excuse me?
I thought it was pretty clear.
Yes.
He meant take my hand in marriage.
Oh my goodness.
I believe he meant take his hand in marriage.
He got
All
it.
right.
And then I guess I have to send new guest Atmos Spark to the moon.
No.
I'm sorry.
Aww.
I didn't want this to happen.
I don't care about the rest of the answers because I totally got Mahower. Suck it, nerds.
I remember you have to double up one.
Oh no, he doubled the cuddle.
Yeah, I know. Just saying. For future people going.
Why don't you guys do it? Because you guys are all in the same room. Why don't you guys just go ahead?
Oh,
This is awkward because
okay.
you can't keep saying like both the people in the same room, or else it's just gonna be down to me and Atmos Spark.
No. Who would I? Okay. Well, Plasma, I would probably cuddle.
Cool.
Yeah, Burned, I like your taste in art, so I would marry you.
Sweet.
If you would so have me.
We
You know you can marry 2 people.
No, you can't.
Oh, we're into polygamy then.
Oh no, you can double up on anything you want to.
Ooh.
Boat to the moon. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, I'm gonna send both of you guys to the moon because
Oh, then you have company. There you go.
Huh?
Then they have company.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no one wants to be alone on the moon.
There you
Flutter
go.
Guy always being the nice guy.
I know.
I know.
He'd probably send himself to the moon too.
I probably would. Actually,
If you said me and someone else, I'm like, damn, Flutter Guy.
we're all. Hey guys, can we all just go to the moon and like chill out there? All right, here's Burned.
Burned me.
You better not say marry me because we would not get along.
So for the first 2, I can't say myself, right?
No, you can't say yourself. You could say the third one for yourself. You could send yourself to the moon.
Could I like say
No.
me in a body
No.
pillow, or like what about my OC in like a
No,
body
you
pillow?
can't say your OC either.
You can marry inanimate objects in the U.S., right? Texas. So for number 2, no, I'm just really joking. For 1, I'd have to go with the Manhauer over here, because I mean he's just a shower. Of
I
man.
love man chowder.
And just like that Manhauer. I believe there's actually some pretty awesome artwork about him. But anyway, bringing that up, cough. But yeah. So for number 1, go for that. For number 2, I know I probably couldn't go through a pleasant marriage with Rainbow Plasma. I feel like that would be a very painful divorce. And we'd just, like, be that horrible couple the whole entire time. Just, like, having fights all of the time. Just, like, that couple everyone hates. Like a bad sitcom.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, basically how it would go down is Byrne would be like, I like the value in this piece, and you'd be like, I like the emotion in this piece, and then
You know, like, I like the value. Be like, I hope you like sleeping on the couch.
You're right, because you would be the woman.
Oh, God. Ooh. Oh, let me stroke my hair. Yes. So, for number 2, I'd probably go with Flutter Guy. Yeah, easily. Easily get along with him because he's just, like, the kindest person ever.
Which one? Are you going to double
great
up on the
petting
moon
your
too?
face. The moon. So I have to double up for people on the moon?
No, you can double up anything.
Oh. Well, who's the other double? I've picked Howard. Oh, so I have Pinky Dash and Rainbow Plasma left?
Yeah.
Do you want to double into the other? Nah, screw you guys. Go to the moon.
Wow. Okay.
I've been at the moon twice now.
Pinky Dash has been in the moon every single time.
Fine. I don't like you guys anyway.
We should let
I'll start my
Rainbow
own- I'll
Plasma
start
go
my own
first and
podcast.
see if he
On
picks
the moon.
me.
You know what? Just for that, Pinky Dash, I'm going to cuddle you.
Yay.
Oh,
So I'm
there
gonna
we
cuddle
go.
you,
Good guy, Rainbow Plasma.
And I'm going to cuddle... Wait, no. I'm going to cuddle you. Okay. That's one.
Yeah.
I'm going to marry Flutter Guy and Mahower
Ooh,
because
I like that.
polygamy.
Because America.
And Byrne is going straight to the moon.
Yeah, damn it, I knew it.
I'm
I'm gonna enjoy it there.
gonna back you up.
Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna change my choices.
The value here is amazing, and no one's here to judge
No
me.
joke. I'd probably like marry and or cuddle all of you, but I had to send someone to the moon. Burned.
I'm gonna change my thoughts because I had planned something else. I'm gonna cuddle Mahower because of the
Buy some apples.
Oh, pfft, okay.
I would prefer the non-censored version, but that'll work.
I am going to marry Flutter Guy, and I'm
Oh no.
gonna cuddle Rainbow Plasma and Mahower.
Okay. Whew.
Yes.
I'm going to marry Flutter Guy and send Burn straight to the moon for 1,000 years.
God dang it.
I thought you were gonna send me and Byrne to the moon. Like we
Well-
stuck up there with each other for 1,000
I
years.
was going to send you to the moon, but then you did a nice thing for me, so you're not going to the moon anymore.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you for not sending like me and Burned up there.
Luna's gonna be my best friend, and we're gonna go on adventures. And there's gonna be bad ponies.
Hey, Burn,
This is gonna be really fun.
there's plenty of rocks on the moon. Have fun with that.
Just acquire a taste for cheese.
you know what else is on the moon?
What?
A really nice view of the Earth.
Yeah.
That's true. You can talk to all the rocks about the value of the Earth.
They appreciate my artistic advice.
Well, okay. Let's do
Rocks also don't shout value to me when I have my own BurnCon 2015.
Burned Con on the moon.
Can we make that a thing? BurnCon?
2014 Burned Con on the moon. Oh my goodness.
I want this to be a thing.
I have to admit, this is probably the best question we've ever gotten.
Thank you to Anonymous, whoever sent it in.
Yeah, I think it's been sent in by like 4 or 5 people, but none of them have names on them.
Yeah.
So thank you to whoever sent that
Maybe
in.
it's the same person 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, there's our cuddle, marry, send to the moon.
Yay. Okay.
That was really creepy,
Was
by the
what?
way. That was really creepy noise, by the way.
It was,
Experience.
it was like a giggle within a laugh. Within
Okay.
my mouth was closed.
See, that's why the marriage would be the best, because every night you get to hear that giggle.
My mouth wasn't closed. My mouth was.
Oh, man.
No, that was bad. That was bad.
Did everyone marry Flutter Guy? Or no. Mahower didn't marry Flutter Guy. Mahower is the only person to not marry Flutter Guy. But he cuddled you.
I'm sorry.
Whatever.
I couldn't resist the instant cuddles.
He was a short-term guy.
Yeah. All right.
Oh my god.
Lots of new content for our channel.
Leave so much of you have to leave so much of this in. Like, it's PG enough, you know. It's it's Final Draft himself said it had to, like, it shows to be PG-13. Like, oh my.
I have to admit, while the microphone I'm sure has been very hard for you guys to pass back and forth, hearing Burned laugh in the background, not into the microphone, is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's great.
Burn has the best like loud laugh.
Yeah, no, Burn
Ever.
definitely has the best laugh out of all of us. He's got a great laugh.
Ted has best Google.
Like I'm just this one episode, I'm just start laughing like a horse.
Burn, how does a horse laugh?
Oh my god! By the way, that was the creepiest laugh of all time. I'm gonna put that to like some sort of editing nightmare right there. Okay. Oh my god! So good. Oh man. Well,
Anyhow,
that was an interesting podcast.
so we should kind of wrap things up a bit. I think.
Right.
Kind of bring things down.
So, oh wait,
So,
whoa.
Okay,
Okay.
you hit yourself. Burn.
So we.
Seriously?
Okay. So because everybody has been kind of frazzled, I want to take a second here and I want to demonstrate to anyone in the future on this podcast how to do plugs. Because our plugs have been getting really long, and when we added the YouTube thing, it's just going to make them longer. So I'm going to do them now. We need to make them shorter. So we have a DeviantArt, which is cutieartcrusaders.deviantart.com, and we've got a Twitter at Cutie Art Crusade. We've got a Facebook, which is Cutie Art Crusaders, and we have an email account, which is cutieartcrusaders@gmail.com. Feel free to contact us on any of those there, or follow, watch, like us, or whatever.
Questions go to the email.
And we also have a YouTube channel, which is new, that we talked a little bit about last week, but I wanted to just spend a little minute here to go over what that is about and what we expect from it. So the YouTube channel, youtube.com/cutieartcrusaders, is where you want to go for all kinds of bonus footage. We have new content. That's basically, where the majority of the Cutie Art Crusaders stuff is going to come out is there. We'll try to remind you sometime, on our DeviantArt or something, but we do want to kind of push that out there because it's something where we're putting in more effort towards the stuff. So we want to see, if you are interested in that kind of bonus content, we've got bloopers coming out. We've got Burns doing something, I think, with critiques.
Yeah.
I started a rant series. We've got a lot of stuff coming out there. So we want to.
You can have the rant series. I'm gonna do the ramble
We
series.
wanna-
So we'll be like.
we want to.
But I've been talking.
Can I finish?
So
Okay.
Finished.
We want to put some more time into this, but we can only put time into it if we deem it, worth our time. Like if we end up having a YouTube channel and there's only like 20 views for something that spends us, like 3 hours to make, then, that's not something that is really productive for us, and it would be better for us to spend time on the actual podcast. So the easiest way for you guys to tell us that you enjoy the content and you want to see more on the YouTube is to go there and subscribe and whatever, like the videos or watch them, whatever, because that's the only way that we're really going to be able to. I mean, we love feedback, but unless we, see some returns for our efforts for that YouTube channel, then the YouTube channel will go by the wayside. So just to let you guys know, this is kind of an experiment right now, and we want to see some cool stuff in this experimental period, or else, I don't know, we'll focus more energy on the podcast or other endeavors.
But I've actually been talking to a lot of people here at Bronycon who are like, hey, we have this YouTube channel. You should do something silly. And a whole bunch of artists are really down for that, a whole bunch, which is actually going to be pretty cool. Even, well, I don't know. I don't know if I want to spoil that. But.
Well, I mean, we've got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline, and we would really like the opportunity to give you guys this bonus content because it's something that we're very excited about. But we do need kind of, we need to see that what we're doing is kind of worth our time, to put it bluntly, So if we only have 20 views per thing or whatever, then that's to us, that's not super worth our time if we're spending hours putting into it, and it would be better for us to just spend more time. So the easiest way, if you guys want to see more stuff out of this YouTube channel, and if you want for it to stay alive, then the easiest way to do that is to support it. So that was my piece on it. I just want to make sure people are clear that this is kind of an experiment, and the easiest way for this to stay alive is for people to support it.
YouTube.com/CutieArtCrusaders. Go watch the intro video because it's hilarious.
Yeah, more stuff like that. So that's everything for this week, guys. Thank you for coming out. It's been a crazy episode, jam-packed full of fun stuff. I know for For example, we're going to have a lot of bloopers coming into this episode. More motivation for the YouTube channel. So yeah, that's it for this week. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to say?
Text 1 to 352 for more Mahower. That's about it.
Yes, please. Does that work in Australia?
Flutter Guy and Burned are not going to be on the podcast next week because they're going to be away. So it's going to be the Rainbow Plasma and Pinky Dad. God damn it! It's going to be the Rainbow Plasma and Atmospark show next week. So that'll be fun. So make sure to tune in next week because that'll be an interesting episode. I don't think we've never had just a you and me episode, have we?
No.
Rainbow Plasma and Atmospark show.
That should be fun.
Atmo Plasma.
Come on down, bring your friends.
Rainbow
Yeah,
Spark.
so
That's
Can
what
you guys please? Can you guys please make a theme song for it?
I already have to do so much work for this editing this week.
Quick, you have 4 days until they record that episode. Fanart, go.
Oh no.
Do it now.
Can we run it like a detective show? Can we like have no art, but have one big piece of
Oh
art
my
at the end
goodness,
of it,
yeah.
and have like little teeny pieces of it leading up to it, and we gotta find out what the last one's gonna be. That'd be fun.
You're like the Blues Clues of Bronies.
You're spoiling all of our ideas.
Should have a Blues Clues episode. Just like, what do we have here? Let's look in our notebook, Rainbow Plasma.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Mr.
Enough of
Invincible
this.
Salt.
Enough of this nonsense. You're all crazy right now, so I'm gonna cut you guys off.
Come sit in my chair.
I'm gonna cut you guys off.
Forget
thank you guys for
I'm
watching.
wearing a striped
whether or not
shirt to
you're on the
every
line.
other
Shut
show.
I have a magical notebook and giant pen
Okay.
and a blue dog.
Shut up. Okay, we're good. Everybody, and does anybody else have any comments? Just say it right now.
Dial 1 for Mahower.
I love you.
Thank you guys for watching, whether or not you're on the live stream or YouTube. We love you all the same. And that's basically it for this episode. So, my name is Rainbow Plasma.
I'm Burned01.
I'm Flutter Guy 317.
I'm Atmospark.
I'm Mahower.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.